Hi there, my name's Kate and I'm going to be guiding you through a number of different yoga classes throughout this series. So welcome to the mat or whatever space you're using at home. So a few things just to say first is to just come to a comfortable seat, which means just to sit down, whether that's cross-legged or you can even have your legs extended if that feels more comfortable for you. Or you can even use something like a brick or a block to help elevate your hips if you've got tight hips. So we're just going to start here in a seated position today. I'm just going to go through a couple of thoughts to begin with before we even get moving too much. So just finding yourself on your mat, in your space, becoming aware of your surroundings, becoming aware of your space, and just breathing, connecting to your breath, taking deep inhales through the nose. Exhales, just allow the air to fall out through the mouth. So it sounds ridiculous almost, but yoga is just breath and movement combined. So the breath that guides the movement. And so today, that's literally all we're going to be doing. We're just going to be looking to combine breath and movement and acknowledging the things that perhaps come up for us and then just saying, okay, that's cool, and letting them go. So anything that comes up for you today, just notice it, acknowledge it, and let it go. And if that's a bit challenging, then just concentrate back on the breath, concentrate on moving in a way that feels good for you and your body, so never pushing through any sharp pain. I'll give you lots of variations for the movements. And making sure that you just keep it as light as you can with the breath as it flows. So not forcing anything, not pushing yourself through any positions that feel not right for you, and just being aware of your space. So sitting here, cross-legged or whichever way works for you, and starting to allow the shoulder blades to just soften into the back line of the spine. So starting to really feel that connection to the floor as well, so feeling that connection to the earth. I teach a vinyasa practice, so it's a flowing style of yoga, but a big foundation of that is how it feels to be grounded into the earth. And it's a really good way as well, if you're feeling stressed or anything like that, is to come back to a place where you feel centered and grounded, with whether it's sitting down or your feet planted on the earth, just knowing that it's got you with whatever else is going on for you right now. So just taking those deep breaths in through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. And if it's comfortable for you, you're welcome to close your eyes here. So you're welcome to just close your eyes or even soften the gaze. So soften the gaze means to just semi-focus on that tip of your nose, so it goes perhaps a little bit blurry, because sometimes closing our eyes doesn't work for everyone, so just whatever works for you. And just perhaps if your eyes are closed, allowing that sense of awareness just to sink in a different way. So perhaps it's noticing any areas of tension in your body. Maybe it's being aware of any discomfort, whether that's physically or emotionally, mentally. And your hands here can rest on your knees, palms down, or in your lap. Or if you'd like to, you can even take a prayer to your heart center or your third eye. So just finding that place that works for you. Thinking about sending your breath on the inhale to the back line of your spine. And as you exhale, allowing the hips to just soften and surrender down towards the earth. And at the same time, you're allowing those shoulder blades to just pull down and back. So maybe you want to do a couple of circles there with the shoulders. Just again, allowing the breath to flow really naturally. So just breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe taking those shoulder rolls. Maybe that feels really good, maybe it doesn't. And if you don't have bricks at home, you're welcome to use books or anything like that. And if you've been trying that out and it doesn't work for you, then you don't have to use them at all. So just taking those circles there. If you've been going backwards, go forwards, and vice versa. So if you've been going backwards with the rolls, go forwards, and if you've been going forwards, just take those backwards. Just starting to connect that sense of breath and movement, coordination. So don't worry if it feels a bit clunky. It's totally normal. So as you start to connect there to your breath and the movement, you might find that your eyebrows start to squeeze up together in the concentration. So now just allowing the shoulder blades to soften down into the back, we're just going to release the tension into the face. So first of all, you're just going to close your eyes and you're just going to blow the air out through the lips. And if you don't want to do that, then you can just have a laugh and think how ridiculous this all is. Okay, so it's about what works for you. You can just take on what works and let go of what doesn't. So just one more deep inhale through the nose. Exhale. you can maybe give the head a little shake. And that releases tension in the mouth, tension in the jaw, tension in the face. So now what we're going to do is start to rub your hands together, creating a little bit of heat into the palm of the hands. At the same time, you've still got that length in the spine, you've still got that belly connected into the back. And then you're going to start to just allow those warm palms to massage into the forehead. So finding that way of creating a little bit of tension release between the eyebrows, across the forehead and then in through the temples. And now if sitting like this for a long time is not comfortable, you can always uncross the leg, change sides. You can always use a chair if you need to sit on. I've got a bench here behind me, I could be sitting on the bench. Or you can even come up to standing if you need to, if sitting down in this position is not feeling good for you today. Wherever you are, just finding that place where you can really massage into your face, maybe taking that into the eyes and having that nice gentle pressure. It's you're connecting back to yourself here with this engagement of giving yourself a bit of a self-massage really. And then we're going to take that down to the jaw. So the jaw carries so much tension, all that stress, all that anxiety, all that clenching the teeth at night that we don't even realise we're doing. It all manifests, well, not all of it, but some of it manifests up into the jaw. And that's really connected into your hips. So we want to make sure that we're keeping that area as stress-free, as tension-free as possible. So wherever you are there, just working in a way that feels good for you. Maybe it's all the way around the face, slightly down in towards the neck. Just doing that for a couple of more breaths. So you're breathing here in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's just do one more deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just allowing the hands here to come and rest either side of your hips. Now, you're going to rest your fingertips on the floor, and if you want to now, you can start to remove that brick or those books if you have them. If not, you can just come to that seated position like you've been already. So fingertips on towards the floor, almost like you're protecting something underneath. So it's like spider fingers or cupcake hands, like you're making a little cupcake shape with your fingertips. And if your arms don't reach the floor, then again, you can use those bricks, you can use those books. We all have different length arms and legs. So remember to never compare yourself to the screen. You're just working with what you have in your space right now. So from here, you're really light with those fingertips onto the floor. And again, you're just looking for that length in the spine. And take a breath in here. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, start to turn your head to the right-hand side. So turning the head to the right-hand side. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, bring the head all the way through the center, taking it all the way to the left-hand side. Inhaling here, trying to find that length in the spine. Exhale, bring your head back through the center. So from here, take one more deep inhale, breath. Exhale, bring your right ear towards the right-hand side shoulder. Now we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths, and you can stay here. If you'd like to take it further, on your inhale breath, sweep the right arm low, then high to the sky. Rest your ear in the bicep there on the right-hand side. And then a little bit of gentle pressure, but not too much, so not forcing anything, making sure the shoulders are softening down into the back. If that feels too much, doesn't feel good, you just bring that hand down. The head is super heavy. So you have a lot of weight there with gravity as well in towards the neck. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, release the hand, bring the head back through the center, just let it float back. Inhale here. Exhale, take the left ear towards the left-hand side shoulder. And then inhale, if you'd like to take it further, sweep the left arm up and over. Again, if this doesn't work for you, you can always just find and play with where the arm can go. Maybe it's just playing with new movement into that shoulder if you're working through anything physically that means you can't lift your arms. Never working through that sharp pain, remember, being super gentle and just being conscious of where you and your body are right now. So this is your starting place. This is where we're going to build from. Taking one more deep breath in. Exhale, let it go, just releasing the arm there, releasing the head. Well done, really nice. So from here, interlacing the fingertips in front of you, you're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, press the palms away and tuck the chin, doming through the upper back. So I'm just going to show you this sideways. So you're going to inhale, tucking the chin, pressing the arms forwards, rounding in that upper spine. Now as you exhale, it's like you're doing breaststroke. You're going to bring the arms back and away, thumbs down. And then you're going to keep that going. Be careful of your space. So you're going to inhale, tucking the chin, keeping the tailbone tucked. Exhale, like you're doing breaststrokes, sweeping those arms back and around. Now again, keep working if that works for you with your breath. If this doesn't work for you, you can either just keep the arms here and then back in. You can do this standing, so you could come up to standing and you can be here, just inhaling. Exhaling, bring the arms down rather than out to the side. So just keeping the arms closer to the body. Likewise, you can do that seated. Keep on going if you're still working with that breath, just mobilizing into the spine. So maybe if it doesn't work to take them wide, you take them down towards the side. Just finding what works for you. Maybe it's just keeping the hands on the knees. Just finding that flexion and that extension into the spine. Just doing one more here. So inhaling, doming through. Exhaling, opening through the chest. Lovely, and then coming back to that neutral spine there. We're going to transition to a tabletop position. So stacking the shoulders here over the wrists. Spread your fingers really wide. So I'm going to come and show you. You want to spread those fingers as wide as you can. That's called Hasta Bandha. Okay, so when the hands connect to the floor, it's called a hand lock. It's a connection to the floor, Hasta Bandha. And by spreading the fingers wide into the ground, you're building more strength up into the shoulders, taking the pressure out of the wrists. So we're going to do some cats and cows here, which is going to emulate that movement that we just did sitting down, just with a little bit more weight through the wrists. So from here, inhale, dip through the spine, lift through the tailbone, and lift and extend through the crown of the head, but without chucking the head back. And then as you exhale, you're going to press through the hands, tuck your chin, tuck your pelvis, doming through the spine. Inhale, finding that extension. And then exhale, just doming through, rounding it into that spine. Well done. So just working here now with your own breath, and if at any time it gets too much for the wrist, you just sit back, give those a little shake off there. So just working with the breath. And if it feels okay to you and you feel comfortable to, we're going to just have a little bit more of a play here into the spine. So now, depending on your space and what you can do with your body there on the mat, you're just going to start to create a few more circles. Now if that doesn't feel too much, so you're basically making some circles with the hips. There's no right or wrong with this, it's all quite intuitive. If that doesn't work for you, just stay back here doing your cat and cows. Otherwise you can start to really play into the mat. So you can start to even bring the thighs down perhaps to the floor. Again, just being conscious of working gently as you rediscover movement perhaps here on the mat today. But also just being conscious and pressing, finding that strength where you can, connecting breath to movement. Well done. Really nice. Keeping that face super chill at the same time. Having a little laugh if it all just goes a little bit wobbly. Don't worry about that. Big component of these classes is about play and exploration. So just keep it really light. Well done. And then coming back here, sitting back on your heels. I'm going to shake off those wrists. So just give the wrist a little shake. If it doesn't work for you with your knees to sit down on your heels, come and sit upright up here. That's where I have to stay with my knees today. So I'm going to be up here. You can be down there, wherever you need to be, shaking off those wrists. Well done. Lovely. And then we're going to reach the arms forwards now. So taking the hands towards the top corner of the mat, bringing your tailbone back towards your heels. So this is child's pose. It's a resting pose. So at any time in classes that you need to take a break, you can always come to child's pose. The arms can reach forwards, or maybe you even bring the hands towards the feet. So from here as well, you've just got that deep connection to the floor. Now remember, your hips might come lower than mine. My hips are higher because I work with a knee injury, so you can kind of just go to where you need to go, remembering that everybody is different. So it's a great chance for you to really work intuitively with you and your body and your space. So keeping the belly buttons into the spine here, take an inhale, and as you exhale, keep the forehead connected, start to walk the hands to the right hand side. Now again, if this doesn't feel good to have the arms extended, you can just keep the hands in line with the shoulders, maybe finding a little bit of a stretch into the left hand side that way, or maybe you just stay in the child's pose there. So the hands are towards the right, feeling that stretch into the left hand side. And then inhaling, exhaling, walking your hands through the center, taking them to the left hand side this time. Again, just noticing what feels different perhaps on this side. Every side of our body is different, so just being conscious of that. Taking one more deep inhale breath here. And as you exhale, walking those hands back forwards. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, come to a tabletop position. So we're just going to transition from child's pose to tabletop. So inhale, tabletop, and then exhale, come to your child's pose. And then inhale, you bring it forward, so we're connecting breath to movement. Exhale, coming back to your child's pose. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, come forwards. Exhale, just letting it go, letting go of any tension you might be holding. 1 more. Inhale, coming forwards. Exhale, bringing it back. And then inhale, coming forwards, tucking your toes, and then pressing your tailbone high to a downward facing dog. So if this doesn't feel good, you can just stay here, keep pressing through those hands in the tabletop position. Otherwise you're going to elevate into the hips here, pressing and pedaling in towards the heels. And again, if anything like dizziness or anything like that sets in, you just come back down to a child's pose or seated position. Come cross-legged like we did at the beginning. So spreading those fingers wide, pedaling those heels down, it's called walking your dog. So remembering if you've also been practicing yoga for a while and you're coming from a different place with your body, that is totally okay. Just acknowledging where you are right now, giving yourself a ton of appreciation for even being here on the mat today. So coming now to a still downward facing dog position, the hands are in line with the shoulders. The knees can be as bent as you need them to be. Take an inhale, send the breath to the spine. And as you exhale, you're going to elevate those hips, perhaps bringing the heels down towards the floor. Now the heels don't need to touch. Remember, you're working here with your own space. We're going to take 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, elevating those hips.
I don't know that one.
Oh, sorry, that's Alexa. Bring the knees down, bring your tailbone back towards the heels, stretching the hands forwards. I'm not sure why she wanted to get involved. Coming into your child's pose. So just breathing here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. 1 more deep breath, in through the nose. Exhale, out through the mouth. Well done. And then inhaling, coming forwards to a tabletop position. Exhale, tuck the toes, return to a downward facing dog. And then looking forwards here, soften the knees, start to tiptoe the feet towards your hands. You can keep the knees as bent as you need to. So you're coming into a forward fold here, hanging over the legs. Now if a forward fold doesn't feel good, you can always come to a slightly propped position here with the hands on the thighs, even the elbows. You can even do this sitting down on a chair if you need to, leaning forwards like that. So holding here in the forward fold, looking on the inhale to send breath to the spine. And as you exhale, looking to elevate the hips. Again, just working really slowly with the breath. So take a deep inhale, breath through the nose, bending the knees. Exhale, elevating those hips. 1 more deep breath in through the nose, soften the knees. Exhale, maybe elevating those hips 1 more time. And then inhale, softening the knees, coming up 1 vertebra at a time. If you're working with any back issues, come up with a flat back. So you're either going to come up through a spine roll, really slowly restacking the vertebra, or you're going to come up with a flat back, using your hands to help aid you there. Then you're going to come and stand at the top of your mat space. Bring the feet together to touch, palms face forwards. This is Tadasana, mountain pose. So from here, bring the feet together to touch, and you can take a prayer to your heart center or your third eye, or maybe even just keep the hands down by your sides. Closing your eyes if you'd like to, and just perhaps thinking of someone or something you'd like to offer out your practice to. If you'd like to do that, you don't have to do that. It's just something that it's part of the yoga practice sometimes, is to offer out practice to someone else to generate that positive energy through how we move, through connecting breath to movement. So maybe it's about channeling a positive thought about yourself. Taking a deep inhale, breath through the nose. Exhale, let it go through the mouth. Inhale, breath through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Then if your eyes are closed, open the eyes. Inhale, take the arms wide and high to the sky, or bring your hands straight to prayer if taking the hands overhead doesn't work for you. If the hands are high, exhale, now bring them wide, forward fold. Keep the knees soft. If the hands are by the chest, you just keep the hands there by the chest. Keep the knees as soft as you need to. Your hands come to frame the feet. Inhale, hands to your shins, come to a flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, soften your knees, step your right foot back into a back lunge position, and then lower the back knee down. Untuck the toes, bring the hands towards the thighs. Now if you'd like to take it further on your inhale breath, take the hands low then high to the sky. But if this doesn't work for you, you just bring those hands down towards the thighs. So inhaling here, just finding that stillness with the breath. Exhale, surrendering down towards the floor. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down towards the floor, frame the front foot. Tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee off the floor, or you can keep the back knee down. If the back knee is off, press into the floor, step the left foot back. If the back knee is down, you're just going to come back, bring the knee back, bring the hands back to that tabletop. So if the feet are back, you're now in a plank position. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, lower your knees. Untuck your toes. And bring your chest down in a straight line towards the floor, keeping the elbows in. Now, if this doesn't work for any reason whatsoever, you can just come straight towards a child's pose if you've got any discomfort in the front line of the body. So otherwise, you're coming down all the way towards the floor. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, then you're in your child's pose. Okay, so you're either here or you're lying flat on the floor. From here, take an inhale. Exhale, press through the hands, take your seat to your feet, child's pose. Coming back to a tabletop, so if you've been in child's pose, come back to a tabletop. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. And then from here, you're going to start to tiptoe those feet back towards the hands. Keep the knees as bent as you need to. And you can come up now with a flat back to stand, or you use that assisted hands onto the thighs. So either you're coming all the way up, hands up to the sky and back down, or you're using those hands to guide you there. On your inhale breath, take the arms wide and high to the sky. Exhale, forward fold down towards the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back this time, lowering that back knee down, and then bringing the hands towards the thighs. So feeling a deep stretch into that left hand side. And again from here, just finding that stillness with the breath. If it feels okay to, those arms come all the way up towards the sky. Just being still here with the breath. You're just breathing, feeling that stretch. If you need to any time, you bring those hands back down. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down towards the floor. So the options as before, you can either tuck the toes, lift the back knee, press into the floor, step the right foot back. If that's too much, you just keep that back knee down, take the right foot back into a tabletop and come to a child's pose, or you're here in your plank, well held if you're here, or maybe you're here with the knees down. Taking an inhale from here, exhale, lowering the knees, bringing the chest and the forehead all the way down towards the floor, staying in child's pose if that doesn't feel good for you. Take an inhale here. Exhale, pressing back to your child's pose. Lots of upper body strength, so don't worry if that's really challenging. Staying here in the child's pose. And then coming forwards here to the tabletop position. And this time you're going to just swing your legs to the left and pop your tailbone down on the floor, extending both legs out in front of you. So from here, we're going to try and lie down slowly, but if you need to, you come down, assisting yourself down however you need to become lie flat on your back. So inhale, reaching forwards with the arms here, or you can be here, or you can be here. And then whichever variation you'd like to take, you're going to start to come down onto your back. So you can be doing it assisted or unassisted, whatever is best for you and your body. Coming to lie completely flat on the floor here. Just bringing those feet in line with the hips. We're going to come into a variation of a bridge. So from here, keep the feet flat, and maybe this is enough for you today, or you take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, press into the feet and lift the hips. So from here, just finding that connection to breath. Again, just breathing, not worrying about it. If that feels too much, you just come back here and you just keep the knees bent. Otherwise, you're staying up in that bridge. Careful the ribs aren't flaring. You're looking to squeeze into your glutes, these muscles here. Manage to shuffle all the way down the mat. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, just rolling down very slowly with control, keeping that belly button zipped to spine. And you can take a little windscreen wiper with the legs side to side here if that feels good. And then from here, hugging the knees just in towards the chest, giving yourself that hug and that recognition again of the fact that you even got to your mat space today. Taking an inhale. Then as you exhale, come into lie completely flat for a final Shavasana, palms facing up towards the sky. Now, if you don't like lying down, you can come back to a seated position like we did at the beginning. But from here, we're just going to lie and we're going to breathe. And that is harder than what it sounds like sometimes. So don't worry if you find it uncomfortable to be still. Don't worry if stuff comes up for you here. You're just lying or you're sitting, wherever you're most comfortable. Just connecting to the breath. And if you find that your mind really starts to wander, then you can just count the breaths. So count how many breaths you're taking on the inhale, and count how many breaths you're taking on the exhale. Really sending the breath to every single centimetre of your body, the toes, the fingers, maybe even the eyebrows, any areas that feel tight or tender, just sending the breath all the way there to those areas. So dead body pose, Shavasana, lying as still as you can. Taking one more final deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. And then starting to wriggle your fingers and your toes. Bringing a little bit of life back into your body if it feels okay to overhead stretching. Otherwise, just keep those arms close to your torso. Bending the knees, giving them a little hug into the chest. Rolling very gently onto either side, so whatever side is best for you. And then pressing yourself back up to a seated position. So finding that cross-legged position that we started with. Allowing the hands to just rest on the knees, just taking 2 final breaths in here. Deep inhale, breath through the nose. Exhale, let it go. One more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. And then just acknowledging your practice in whatever way works for you. Just giving yourself that internal well done and really appreciating the fact that getting to do these classes is dedication in itself. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next class. Have a great rest of your day.